If you're older than 16, you're older than ICE. ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, was created in 2003 as part of post-9/11 legislation that housed immigration enforcement under the Department of Homeland Security.
So ICE was created 16 years ago? I'm sure you'd be able to blame the current administration for everything, though.
In 1996, when the country was worried about crime and drugs, immigration enforcement was understood under that lens, and Democrats conceded to legislation called IRA that made it easy to deport people for minor violations.
What the hell are minor violations? And don't you mean minor violations on top of major violations like sneaking into the country illegally?
These pieces of legislation created the infrastructure of mass deportation that Trump has set into motion.
These aren't people. These are animals, and we're taking them out of the country at a level and at a rate that's never happened before.
Oh my God, could you take a guy more out of context? He was referring to MS-13 gang members doing things like murder and decapitating people. You don't suppose legal immigrants such as myself do the same thing, do you? Man.
He and Stephen Miller believe that through aggressive immigration enforcement against long-term residents of this country, they can terrorize people into self-deporting. As
long-term residents? So you mean people who manage to break the law for a long time and not get caught? I don't think that's the kind of behavior that should be rewarded.
part of that strategy, ICE is detaining journalists like Manuel Duran and undermining elected politicians like Libby Schaaf.
I would recommend that you look into obstruction of justice for the mayor of Oakland, California, Jeff.
Okay, the dude caught attention for staying here illegally. That's the issue that got him in trouble, not him being a journalist. And Libby Schaaf, she was helping illegals dodge the law by informing them about ICE agents. I mean, listen guys, undermining elected officials, don't you guys have a patent pending on that? Total lack of self-awareness.
Choose as a society what is criminalized and how those laws are enforced. We don't have a militarized police force to prosecute financial crimes because the people who commit those crimes are powerful white men.
No, because the people who commit these crimes would not respond with violence. And dude, come on, financial crime is not only a white man thing. You can't just claim all the cool crimes for your race.
We have to dismantle not just ICE, but the thousands of small offenses that put people on ICE's radar. From marijuana possession to turnstile jumping, people enter into ICE's net through overcriminalization.
Yeah, let's get rid of the definition of crimes. That'll stop the crimes. The reasoning is so profound.
So I focused on a woman named Laura who had been living in the US for a very long time. She was driving home one night in Texas. She was pulled over by a local cop, and he decided when he learned she was undocumented to turn her over to Border Patrol. She knew she had a violent husband back in Mexico who had been threatening to kill her if she was ever sent back. And in fact, that is exactly what happened. She was sent back across the bridge, and a week later she was found dead.
Hey, that's what the American policeman is supposed to do. He was just doing his job. The lack of security that lady had in Mexico is attributed and should be attributed to the Mexican law enforcement authorities.
Deportation is a fate next to death, but in this country, we have routinized it. We have mechanized it. And now there is a movement to dismantle that machine.
Just had it with this bullshit. This country, huh? Try getting into China or Russia or India or Mexico or any other non-Western country illegally and see what happens. And then get back to us.
And across the country, Occupy movements are occupying ICE offices and demanding an end to deportation. There is a movement to create an immigration system that sees immigrants not as criminals, not as terrorists.
What the hell? People don't see immigrants through those lenses. They see illegal immigrants. Why don't you people make the distinction?
VIP.